it's an everyday event. We are receiving defectors every single day.
Let me hold you a little bit. You are talking of national media.
Yes.
And yet you are utilizing the private media.
Which one? Yeah.
You are utilizing the
Yes,
private media.
yes, because if
So why can those defections be utilized on a private media?
there are certain areas where you cannot be accessed.
Prime TV is everywhere. So
Are you in Musawa?
we are everywhere.
You are not in
As long as
Musawa. There was a by-election in Musawa last week, 2 weeks ago. You were not there. Did you cover that event? Unfortunately, no. So, Kalan, don't lie. You are not everywhere.
We are everywhere in terms of coverage,
You
and
understand?
you've always invited
Now, are
us.
you telling
and
me
if
that
you invite us, we always are
no,
covered.
a defector will wait for coverage? A defector will not wait for coverage.
if-
A defector wants to defect there and then.
What we are saying is, you are saying you're in Mansa,
Yes.
and you didn't see it. What I'm
You
saying
didn't see it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It was on Prime. Maybe you personally didn't see it, but it was covered when 120 defectors within 2 hours
That's
they
what,
defected.
that's what I wanted to hear. That's what
In
I wanted.
Mansa,
Exactly.
yes, because it's a peri-urban.
That's what I wanted to hear. Now, I'm asking this question because you're talking of the national media.
Yes.
And if you are saying because you are not everywhere, and yet you were there,
No,
so
you're
what-
not in Mosowa. My village in Mosowa in Kasama, there were about 300 defectors not too long ago. But they only defected on the radio, via the radio, not via Prime TV. That's why I'm saying you're not everywhere. You can't be everywhere. It's impossible, my dear brother.
if you are going there,
Yes.
you've always requested
I
for coverage.
wasn't there. I wasn't there. I don't have to be all over Zambia, let me tell you. UPND is a very massive, it's a big party. You understand? It's all over. It's everywhere. Even in Northern Province, it has gained ground. You saw from the 2016 general election, the number of votes that we got. So we have made inroads, even in areas where PF never expected us to make inroads. We have made inroads, and we are proud of that.
Just like they are also claiming that we've made inroads in Western Province. Where we
In
can,
Western Province.
where we can even win wide elections. In Solwezi, which you claim those are UPND strong.
But let me tell you something. Those wins today, I've told you, I was Minister of Defense, campaign manager in Livingstone, because we were in the government that time. We won that seat. But when it came to the general election, did they win that seat? Did we win that seat? Unfortunately, we didn't. So the same trend will happen, let me tell you.
All right.
You may, because you are a journalist, you may not understand the dynamics of politics. General election is a totally different scenario. It's each one for himself, God for us all. You see, they will not be able to afford to pay every citizen across the country. It will be impossible.
All right,
for people to
let's
do
get back to the issue. You did not answer this one.
that. Which one?
You are losing your members every
Very,
now and then.
very good. They are also losing their members every second. I'm just giving you an example. That's why I said in Musawa, there were 300 defectors who defected. Find out from Kasama, Radio Manu, they will tell you. I have a list of defectors. Even today, I have a text. When I was in Monze, they were texting me to say there are 300 defectors. More in Kasama. Kasama is worse, I'll tell you. If the public media would cover that, PF will be shocked. But I'll tell you, they will not like that to be exposed. They don't want anybody to know. They don't want the country to know that they are losing members. So I'll tell you something, they have lost more members than ourselves. You see? And if you look at it, what UPND members are doing, Kalan, they are duping the PF. Foolishly, when they give them money, you saw what happened in Mongo. They even had to call the whole of the president to say, come and receive councillors. When he got there, what did he get? A shock of his life. Only one relative of Inonge Window is the only person who defected. The rest, they ate the money. We told them to say, it's don't remember party 2. Take the money, eat it, it's your money, it's stolen money. Because they had no money in 2011, all of them. You understand? So this is exactly what is happening. You see what will happen. More defections will continue. And we've told them, eat the money. But deep down, if they go to campaign, they will campaign for UPND. That is exactly what is happening. So PF think they are gaining ground. They are not. In fact, they are losing ground. We are gaining ground.
All right. How does it make you feel when you see your members like in Mongo and Ndola going back to class?
So my party.
Is it because probably you call them to threaten them here or there when they go?
No, we don't do that. Let me tell you, every party member is free to do what he or she feels she can do. You understand? She can leave the party at will, he or she can rejoin the party at will. You understand? So by so doing, it's not that we are threatening them. No, we are not threatening them. It's just that they feel that they belong to UPND.
All right.
They don't belong to PF. They know that PF is gone. PF is just a shell, for your information. Those of us who were there, we know that PF is just a shell. They are using state machinery. They are using state agencies, police, SAF, army, and what have you, to cling to power. Let me tell you, I have been in PF, and I know the strength and weakness of PF. PF is a shell. Today, if there was just a free and fair election in this country, I'll tell you, PF will tumble, and they will regret.
All right. Let me get it. Let me get it this way. PF is using state security to cling on to power. Is that what you say?
Exactly. Those are my words. One example, they're using the police, mostly. You understand, the police to intimidate us. One scenario I gave you was, if a PF member today maims a UPND member, or to simplify that if you want, even shoots at a UPND member, he will go scot-free. If a UPND member maims a PF member, he will go in, he will be locked up. He will never come out of jail.
Yeah, I asked that question because I wanted to find out if you are saying the PF uses state agents, state security to remain in power,
Yes.
how then are you going to get that power, which you always say that we shall be in government soon?
Let me tell you, it's just a question of time. Don't think that the police will always use the state power to cling to power. You see, the voice of the people is very important in politics. One day, the people of Zambia will rise to the occasion. Look at, I was in...
You claim you won in 2015.
Let me tell you, I worked with the SATA very, very closely. That's why I was the first Minister of Defense, because he had the confidence in me. And I never lobbied for that job, for your information. I never lobbied. He just decided on his own. I was the first. And I just resigned. No one fired me. You understand? What I'm trying to tell you is that I know the power of the Zambian people, what they're capable of doing. People in 10 years, they said Sata will never be president. They sang loud and clear that Sata is a mad person who will never be president. May so rest in peace. But what happened? They decided to change. The same way MMD lost it to PF, this is the same way PF will lose to us very soon. Mark my words, mark my words. Zambians are not happy with this government. Look at the poverty levels in this country. Every household today is suffering. They cannot have 3 square meals a day. The only people who can have 3 square meals a day are those that are near Edgar. Those are the only ones eating. People cannot afford to take their children to school. Look at the marketeers. They've been displaced. Look at the street boys. You understand? They've been displaced. Nothing has happened. And by the way, I'm told that because of this Mayero election, they have slowly started coming back. They've told them to come back. But what they should understand is that sooner rather than later, just after election, if they are going to allow the PF to win, you know what's going to happen? Again, they will chase them away. The council police have been told not to harass them until after election. So my dear brothers and sisters, those of you who are in the streets, mind you, they will dupe you again. It's entirely up to you, the choice is yours. Satale batakonike kalamuti kalefwa. Na imumke kalako mutu kalefwa. Ba PF nga mlei kutamuli ba PF. Go ahead, vote for them again. But the choice is yours.
You just mentioned the mayoral elections, and if I may bring you a little bit back again to elections. Other members, both within your party and just those that are watching from the terraces, think and feel that you are adopting unsellable candidates, weak candidates, people that cannot win elections.
You see, the system that we use, I'll tell you, is very democratic in our party. It's not about Akainda each level. Some foolish people, I'm sorry to use that word, viewers, claim, even within our party, they say that no, Akainda has imposed a candidate on the people of Chilanga. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way. I'm the witness. Neither did I. The system is that the NMC, NEC, they sit and decide together with the structures. Because those are the key people. Those are the ones who know which candidate is preferred on the ground. We are merely told who the candidate will be. The same example with the Chileche, our candidate, mayor candidate. It's the same procedure. We don't interfere. We're a democratic party. So it's not about us that we adopt wrong candidates. And for information, if she was the wrong candidate, how would she only lose by 800 votes when the entire government was unleashed on her? So in our view, she was the best candidate. She was the best candidate.
Probably because it was the party, not the individual.
No, I don't think so. The party is very strong. The party is very strong. And the party has gained ground for information. The party has gained popularity. I've told you provinces like Northern. Today, go to Northern Province. We have support. Tremendous support. Go to Luapula. We have tremendous support. Go to Muchinga. We have tremendous support. Look at the 2016 election. If you compare them with the 2015, you see that our party is growing every single day. We are growing.
All right. That also calls, sir, that you need to go for a convention. That you're a part that does not go for a convention.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Who's calling for that? We know what is happening. This is a PF scheme. The PF are trying to infiltrate UPND by forcing us to go for a convention. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I have been in MMD, I have been in PF, and this is my third party, UPND. It doesn't work that way. They are not going to force us to go for a convention. Let them first of all go for a convention.
But these calls are coming in from your own members. Your own members are the ones saying we need to go for a convention and
I'll tell you, we will certainly go for a convention.
When?
Very soon. You understand? But will not be dictated when to go there, when to go for a convention.
What does your party constitution say with regard to conventions?
Conventions, I think that is for the NMC to decide. You understand? If we have overstretched,
enshrined in your constitution.
precisely. I've said very soon we are going for a convention. But I don't want the PF to tell us, to force us to go for a convention. It's none of their business. Do we tell them when to go for their convention? And for your information, if they think that when we go for a convention, there will be another candidate as president, they've got it all. PF themselves, they have already started, even on their cars. You can see EL 2016, isn't it? They have already decided who their presidential candidate is. And we have already decided who our president is. That is Hakainde Hichilema. He's our preferred. Whether convention or no convention, I'll tell you, Hakainde Hichilema is our preferred candidate. I want to put this clear. Across the country, we are not going to change the presidency. Not at all. What for? You know why the PF are insisting that we go for the convention and we change the president? Because they know that if Hakainde Hichilema come whenever the next general election will come, he will win the seat. He will win the presidency. No doubt about it. Zambians are agitated with the PF behavior. Corruption. Too much corruption. Every day you open a page, it's corruption. There is a new matter about corruption. That's all they know. Don't think Zambians are fools. They are not fools. Zambians have learned the hard way. They regret that they voted for PF to come into power. You
are ready to meet President Galungu on the ballot?
On the ballot, more than ready, more than ready. And we know who take the day. That one, take it from me. Mark my words.
As a party, you've just been saying he doesn't qualify to stand.
Who doesn't? Edgar.
You've been saying President Galungu does not qualify.
To us, as far as we are concerned, he's been a president, he has been sworn in as president twice. But if the Constitutional Court is going to manipulate and give him another term, we don't care. We'll face him and we'll win him, pants down. It happened to Chiluba. Chiluba said he called himself a master dribbler in politics. What happened when he called for the third term? This is exactly what is going to happen to Edgar Lungu. The country will show him. The people of Zambia, they are not docile. They are clever people. They know what they want.
All right, let's move to matters of national level. Away from politics, let's touch on matters affecting the nation. And quickly, we look at an issue which is coming in where Electricidade de Mozambique, that's Portuguese, This is more equivalent, but I'm not that somebody who's going to say the ZESCO of Mozambique. I'm not going to say the ZESCO of Mozambique, but this is a power supply company for Mozambique, which has suspended 111 megawatts power supply to Zambia over a 70 million United States dollars debt. But remember,
I'll tell you, as UPND, I think we are not surprised. We know that ZESCO is always used for political gains by the PF government. If you look at most employees at ZESCO, they are all politically connected. All the suppliers in ZESCO, as long as you worship Edgar today, you will be a supplier. Whether there is money or no money, they'll find the money. That company is insolvent, if you don't know. That company is insolvent. ZESCO is supposed to be a very viable company because it's the only supplier of electricity. And who doesn't use electricity? Every household in this country, in this beautiful country of ours, we all use electricity. And it has a monopoly. So why should it fail? So we are not surprised that that company from Mozambique would discontinue or has discontinued to provide power to Zambia. I'll tell you something, there are yet more things which the Zambian people will see. In the next few years, I'll tell you, Zambians will see the worst economy that Zambia has ever come across.
why?
Bad management. Bad management. How do you go and engage a contractor to contract a road from Lusaka to Ndola for 1.2 billion? It's unheard of. That's unheard of. That's proper daylight robbery. Now, where is that money going to come from? What Zambians don't know or don't realize is that when a government signs a contract, then the obligation is yours as a Zambian citizen. You'll be the ones to pay through taxes. You can see they were singing in 2011 that lower taxes for every Zambian, but it has turned out to be different. It's higher taxes for Zambians. Zambians are paying through the nose when it comes to taxes. Why is it so? It's because of the bad policy of the government. You go and engage a contractor, sign a contract of 1.2 billion. That is not the only contract. You go and buy fire tenders at $1 million each. Across the world, I've tried to Google. There is no fire tender that costs $1 million. And you know the most unfortunate part is that most of the fire tenders that were bought at those exorbitant prices, they've started being involved in accidents. Now, if you go to how much they were insured for, they were insured for $250,000. So they will not be replaced. And the insurance will withhold 10% excess, which is $25,000. So they will only be able to refund him. That's if they're insured. I doubt it. I have those doubts. Only $225,000. Who has lost? It's not the Zambian government. It's you Zambians who have lost. Because you are the ones who pay through taxes. When you buy sugar, there is a component of tax in that packet of sugar. When you buy alcohol, whatever you buy, there is a component. So Zambians, please, you must wake up. This regime of PF doesn't mean well to you. This is the only government that I've seen that has actually over-contracted. They are owing so much money to contractors across the country. And mainly it's AVIC. And we know why AVIC. Because they are benefiting from AVIC. They are getting 10%, 20% from AVIC. Right. We know they are representative. A boy called Thomas, that's his pseudonym, but he's Chinese. He's been here for 20 years. He's a go-between between the Chinese company and the Zambian ministers. We know him. But we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
I'll still go back to the suspension of 111 megawatts power supply. How does this affect the country's economy?
Let me tell you, I think the industries will be affected, more especially farmers.
That's all your thought. Let me also remind you, the viewers, that shortly we'll be having the SMSs, and of course, so that we can see what you are saying back home. Later on, we shall be continuing with the discussion. Time is slowly also moving. We should be winding up with our program in time from now. So make available those messages. And guest in the studio is Honorable Dr. Geoffrey Walemwamba, who is the UPND Vice President, and we are discussing political violence, who is to blame. All right, so immediately he finishes his thoughts on what I've asked him, we're going straight into the inbox. All right, do you want me to repeat the question again?
Please,
my question was, what is the effect of the suspension of the 111 megawatts power supply by the power supply company in Mozambique? What's the economic effect as it got to
I think it's quite huge. It's quite huge. I'll tell you, we'll very soon start experiencing blackouts, load shedding. And of course, what does that mean? That means that the factories will be affected. And what does that mean? The factories will not produce the required capacity because of the load shedding. So it has a negative effect, I'll tell you, on the economy. Overall, it has a negative effect. So I think this is something that I think has to be dealt with almost immediately. They have to find the money and pay that company for the electricity that they are importing.
Are we in a position to pay $70 million?
Well, I doubt it if there is anything in the coffers. But as far as I'm concerned, they would rather pay Chinese contractor than Zesco. Than that company, because they will have no cut in that company. But the Chinese company, Agric, they'll pay them 70 million. They'll find it.
All right. Let's quickly go into the inbox, and we'll still be discussing when we come back. When we do come back, sir, we still have a number of issues. Resignation of the Acting Auditor General, Mr. Ron Mwambwa. Of course, demolition of Chisokoni to pave way for a modern structure. Your president has been building schools. Your president has also built some clinics. You claim the government is not receiving them. Probably we can also look at that. Very quickly, but let's see what the people are saying back home. Our leaders are to blame, especially language flying from opposition leaders, such as going towards each other's throats. Magedon, panga for panga, and so forth. Dialogue is the way forward. Mwanza Choma. This sounds like it's more centered on UPA. Panga for panga, Magedoni. You are going for somebody's throat. I don't know whether it's my throat or whoever's throat. That sounds like that somebody's reminding me. All right. Good evening, Carlin and GBM. Both PF and UPND are one are the same. You go to Southern Province, putting on a PF shirt, you'll be beaten by UPND. When they come on TV, they blame PF. UPND are hungry for power, such man Kabul. Mr. Vice President, what is your say on Kampiongo? Is he suitable to head the Ministry of Home Affairs, Henry Bulangililo Kito? Good evening, Carlan and Mr. Vip. The lesson for violence is simple. We voted for people who know nothing, and now they know the value of money, so they want to be there for good. Mwamba from Kitwe. That's your name, sir.
No, that was Mwaba. Point of correction, Mwaba.
Ah, thank you.
Was it Mwamba?
Mwaba. Ah, thank you, Mwaba. Which party brought and introduced Mapatizia formula? Mongo. It's a straightforward one. Which party? You can answer it.
Mapatizia?
Formula.
No, I wasn't there. I think I was in the other camp. So I wouldn't know.
We can proceed.
Yeah.
Political violence is a historical problem. Leaders must restrain their members from violence like President Lungu has done, unlike the panga for panga language, which is inciting violence. Maurice Marawi. What are you going to do to protect our UPND members from this panga family PF when it comes for campaigns? Good evening, Carlan and Mr. Vip. I think we've read this one. We're coming back again. isn't it? Yeah, we read this one.
Read this one.
Let's. It's incompatible to have a PF National Youth Commander and Commander of Law Enforcement, Zambia Police, at the same time in that letter from Livingston.
Yeah, maybe I should.
But we can progress. Since you did not touch the other messages,
Right.
we cannot end here. I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Let's progress. Let's progress. We blame PF is too much violence and buying some UPND members. We need peace in this country. We are behind you, Mr. President. Yours, Chinyama Roni from Solwezi. Mr. GBM, you are right. The President must do something to end up this, I'm sure, violence, I should think so, dying from Kitwe. GBM plus HH, may God bless UPND, please, to fight PF. We need the anointing of our Prophet Bushiri. Please go there for prayers. Somebody's telling me to go for prayers. All right. I think government is to blame. King Lo Kalulushi. We can proceed. If Zambia is a Christian nation, then let love, peace, tolerance of opposing views, fear of God manifest. Joseph in Kanyama. All right. Good evening, my Vice President. I salute you for all the works you are doing in our party. Please keep it up. I'm your full supporter. I'm Remedy MB from Mongo. Give me two more, then we can get back to the discussion. Evening, by GBM, everyone knows that it's you who use money to create violence. Chilofiate from Kito. Kito representing Lodi. It seems Kito is watching, so we can respond to some of these messages.
Thank you very much. Let me start with the last one. Kalan, I think, do I have more money than the PF? The PF has amassed a lot of money through corruption. They have more money than myself. How can I compete with them? It's impossible. So I can't, in fact, I'm not the architect of violence. The architect of violence is UPND, is a PF. I have cited an example. What happened at Mulungushi, local authority. It was the first time that I saw a banga in my whole life. It was at Mulungushi, when all the 9 cadres, other than Edgar's, himself and his supporters, were only allowed to go into the convention center. So how could they today say that it's me who's using my money? My money is hard-earned money. It's not corruption money, where I can start hiring people to cause violence. For what? And what am I trying to achieve? Those in the PF are trying to hang on to power. That's why they are using stored money to actually buy you. In fact, the same guy, they are buying them. They are giving them money. Kaiser sends money to these thugs in Kitwe. You understand? Some of them Jelabos and what have you, to attack our members. But I think, in a nutshell, let me say that violence is orchestrated by people. Let me tell you, those who have talked about violence, let me probably answer wholesomely. I had said here, not too long ago, if violence has to stop, tell your Edgar today to issue a decree to say, I don't want violence, whether from UPND or PF. Whoever will be found wanting the long arm of the law will catch up with them. You will see there will be no violence in this country. But Edgar pretends he's a Christian, but backdoor is funding violence. They think violence is what kept all these other presidents in power. What is happening today, I'll tell you. If it happened when I was in PF and MMD was in power, we would have not gotten power. I salute Arabi, he's a gentleman. You see, that's what a leader who loves his country behaves. Arabi behaved in a very, very dignified manner. He knew certain areas of this country, certain provinces, he was not popular. He